It's a good bounce back win for us today. I thought we started the game with the right tone on the defensive end. And so that was that was by design for us to get.
They said she wasn't ready, and they told the world that she needed to wait her turn. But the breaking news coming out of the Team USA camp has just completely flipped the script and exposed the reality that everyone was trying to hide. It is official, and the confirmation has sent shockwaves through the entire basketball world because Caitlin Clark is not just joining the roster for the upcoming cycle, but she has secured the number 22 jersey. This might sound like a minor detail to the casual fan, but inside the locker room and within the politics of professional basketball, this is a massive declaration of war against the old hierarchy. Getting that number is a symbol of power, and it confirms that the coaches and the committee have finally bent the knee to the undeniable talent that is Caitlin Clark. For months, we heard the whispers and the excuses about chemistry and seniority, but this move signals that the era of gatekeeping is over. The decision to hand her the number 22 is the ultimate vindication for every fan who screamed that leaving her off the Olympic team was a mistake. But to understand why this is such a shock, we have to look at what happened behind closed doors, because the road to this moment was paved with jealousy and politics and secret meetings that are only now coming to light. When the roster was originally constructed without her, the excuse was that she wouldn't fit in or that she couldn't handle the physicality of the international game. It was a narrative pushed by certain veterans and amplified by media heads who wanted to protect the status quo. They tried to tell us that experience matters more than explosive talent. But let's be real about what actually happened. The snub wasn't about basketball skills. It was about sending a message. It was the old guard trying to humble the new face of the league. However, that plan backfired in the most spectacular way possible. Instead of silencing the hype, the exclusion of Clark created a martyr narrative that made her bigger than the team itself. While Team USA was winning gold with empty seats in the arena, Caitlin Clark was selling out stadiums in the WNBA and driving viewership numbers that the sport had never seen before. The powers that be at USA Basketball realized they had made a massive financial and cultural miscalculation. They saw the ratings and they saw the merchandise sales, and they realized that you cannot leave the most popular female athlete on the planet at home if you want people to care. So, the conversation shifted. Sources close to the program have leaked that the call to bring her in wasn't just a polite invitation. It was practically a negotiation where Clark held all the leverage. And that brings us to the jersey number. In the world of sports, specific numbers carry weight and legacy. The number 22 has been Caitlin's identity since her days at Iowa, where she broke every record in the book. Podcasts where legends of the game threw shade at her accomplishments. They said reality was coming. They said she would get crushed. But the reality that actually arrived is that Caitlin Clark is the system now. This decision to give her the number isn't just about fabric. It is about the franchise. It tells us that the coaching staff is prioritizing the future over the feelings of ties synonymous with her brand and her logo and her play style. But in the context of Team USA, numbers are usually assigned based on seniority. Rookies take what is left. Veterans get what they want. For the coaching staff to confirm that she gets 22 immediately is a signal to the rest of the roster that the hierarchy has changed. It is a direct statement that this is now Caitlin Clark's team. There were rumors swirling for weeks that there might be pushback from established stars who feel that such special treatment creates a divide in the locker room. We have seen the clips and we have heard the past. Speculation is running wild that Nike played a massive role in this decision as well. We know that the shoe giants have a heavy hand in how these superstars are marketed. With Clark signing one of the most lucrative deals in history, it makes zero business sense to have her wearing a random number like 14 or 6 while representing her country. They want the number 22 to be iconic globally. The business of basketball is undefeated, and in this case, the money spoke louder than the veteran egos. But this transition wasn't smooth, and we need to talk about the friction this causes. Imagine being a veteran player who has put in 10 years of work winning medals and grinding overseas only to see a second-year player walk in and get the keys to the kingdom. There is no doubt that this has caused some tension behind the scenes. We have seen the on-court hard fouls and the eye rolls during games. That energy doesn't just disappear because they are wearing the same colors. The coaching staff has a massive job on their hands to manage these personalities. However, the difference now is that the performance is undeniable. Clark proved in her rookie season that she belongs. She led the league in assists and shattered rookie records and took a lottery team to the playoffs. The argument that she isn't ready is dead. It has been buried by her stats and her impact. The coaches know that to win in the future, specifically looking toward the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles, they need the offense to flow through her. The international game is evolving, and the pure isolation scoring that worked for 20 years is being challenged by teams that move the ball and shoot from deep. Clark is the perfect weapon for this modern style. By giving her the number 22, they are symbolically handing her the torch, even if some people aren't ready to let go of it yet. This moves us into the territory of what the practices are going to look like. Sources indicate that the strategy is being revamped to maximize her court vision. This is a terrifying prospect for the rest of the world. A Team USA squad that actually utilizes Clark's passing ability alongside the athletic dominance of players like AIA Wilson and Breanna Stewart is a cheat code. But getting there requires the veterans to accept their new roles. They have to be willing to run the floor and catch the ball rather than demanding it at the top of the key. This is where the controversy might flare up again. Will the legends be okay with being finishers while the young star runs the show? The confirmation of the jersey number suggests that the coaches have already had these hard conversations. They have likely told the team that this is the direction they are going and everyone needs to get on board or get left behind. IT brings up the memory of the Dream Team eras in the men's game where the torch was passed from Magic and Bird to Jordan. It was awkward and it was competitive, but it was necessary. We are watching that same history unfold right now in the women's game. The snub in 2024 will go down in history as one of the biggest what-if moments, but the return is shaping up to be even more dramatic. And let's not ignore the Mean Girls narrative that has plagued the league. The media has focused heavily on the jealousy aspect, and for good reason. The hazing that Clark endured was unlike anything we have seen for a number 1 pick. But this Team USA confirmation serves as the ultimate silencer. You can foul her hard in a league game, and you can talk trash on a podcast, but you cannot deny her spot on the national team anymore. The coaches have looked at the tape, and they have looked at the revenue, and they made the only choice they could make. This is also a massive blow to the critics who spent the last year trying to diminish her impact. People like Cheryl Swoops, who tried to rewrite history to make Clark seem less impressive, now have to watch as she becomes the face of American basketball. It is a poetic justice for the fans who stuck by her through the hate. The jersey number 22 represents resilience. It represents the ability to take the hits and keep moving forward. But there is a darker side to this story that we need to touch on. The pressure that is now on her shoulders is unimaginable. By accepting this number and this role, she is effectively saying that she is ready to carry the entire program. If they lose or if they struggle, the blame will fall squarely on her. The same media that built her up will be ready to tear her down at the first sign of failure. That is the nature of the beast. But Clark has shown time and time again that she thrives under pressure. She has been the focal point of every team she has ever played on since high school. The bigger the stage, the better she plays. What makes this specific update so interesting is the timing. Confirming this now well ahead of the major tournaments allows the marketing machine to spin up, but it also gives the team time to adjust. It kills the speculation and forces the players to deal with the reality. There will be no more questions about will she or won't she. She is here, and she is number 22. This also opens up the conversation about who was removed or demoted to make space for her. Roster spots are limited, and for Clark to be the focal point, someone else has to take a step back. That is the brutal math of elite sports. We might see some surprising retirements or withdrawals from the national team pool in the coming months as older players realize their time is up. It is the circle of life in sports, but it is happening faster than anyone expected. The acceleration of the Caitlin Clark timeline is unprecedented. Usually players wait 4 years to get this kind of respect. She forced it in 1. This aggressive move by Team USA suggests they are terrified of losing the casual fan. They know that without Clark, the ratings drop by half. It is a cynical view, but it is likely the truth. They need her more than she needs them. She has the fame and the money and the adoration. They have the medals, but they need the relevance. This partnership is mutually beneficial, but make no mistake, the power dynamic has shifted toward the player. As we look forward to seeing her in that number 22 jersey interacting with her teammates, we should be watching the body language closely. Who high-fives her? Who sits next to her on the bus? Who passes her the ball in the crunch time? These small details will tell us the real story of whether she has been accepted or if the resentment is still simmering under the surface. But for now, the headline is clear. The snub is over. The queen has arrived and she has her crown, which in this case is the number 22 jersey. The coaches have made their bet. They are betting that the Caitlin Clark effect is real and that it translates to international dominance. It is a bold move and it is a necessary move. The days of leaving your best asset at home to appease the locker room are gone. This is a business and business is booming. What happened next would shock everyone because the reaction from the fan base was instantaneous. Pre-orders for the jersey are likely already crashing websites. The excitement is palpable, but we must remain skeptical of the transition. Integrating a ball-dominant player into a team of alphas is never easy. It failed with other super teams in the past. But Clark is different because of her willingness to pass. She makes everyone around her better, and that is the key that the coaches are counting on. If Aya Wilson gets 10 easy layups a game from Clark passes, she will get over the jersey number issue very quickly. Winning cures everything. If they go out and dominate by 40 points every game, the narrative of jealousy will die. But if they struggle early, the vultures will circle. That is why this confirmation is so high stakes. It puts everything on the line. The reputation of the coaches, the legacy of the veterans, and the future of the star. All of it is wrapped up in this decision. And let's not forget the global impact. The rest of the world is getting better at basketball. France and Australia and Spain are closing the gap. Team USA cannot afford to be complacent. They need the edge that Clark brings. Her range stretches defenses in a way that no other player can. It opens up the paint for the bigs. It is a tactical necessity as much as a marketing one. The coaches saw the spacing issues in the last cycle and realized they needed a shooter who can hit from the logo. There is only one player who does that consistently. So, while the drama is fun to talk about, the basketball reasons are sound. This is a basketball decision wrapped in a marketing bow. The rumors of dissent will likely continue until the first game is played. We will hear anonymous quotes and leaked stories about how the vibe is off. But once the ball is tipped, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is the score. Caitlin Clark has spent her whole life proving people wrong. She was told she was too small and too slow and too focused on offense. She proved them all wrong. Now she is telling the world she is ready to lead the greatest dynasty in sports history. The confirmation of her number is the first step. The next step is the gold medal. But the path there is going to be filled with noise. The haters are not going to go away quietly. They will scrutinize every turnover and every missed shot. They will wait for her to fail. But if history has taught us anything, it is that betting against Caitlin Clark is a bad idea. She feeds off the doubt. She uses the negativity as fuel. And now she has the full backing of the Team USA machine behind her. It is a scary combination for the rest of the world. The jersey number is just the beginning. It is the flag in the ground. It marks the territory. This is her era and everyone else is just living in it. The silence from the usually vocal critics since this news dropped is deafening. They know they have lost. They know that the inevitable has happened. The changing of the guard is complete. All that is left now is for the games to begin. We are witnessing a legend in real time and it is moving fast. So, buckle up because the Caitlin Clark Team USA era is officially underway. And if the past is any indication, it is going to be a wild ride. The controversy and the fame and the talent have all collided to create this perfect storm. And at the center of it all is that number 22 jersey. A number that will likely go down in history as one of the most significant in the sport. The decision is made. The confirmation is here. The rest is up to her. And frankly, I wouldn't bet against her. The story of how she got here is crazy, but the story of what she does next will be legendary. This is the moment everything changes.